Castlevania season finale Monument. This was a great season finale. It was freaking amazing the whole way through. I think this was probably the most action-oriented episode, but there was so much stuff that happened story-wise where it's like, that's perfect, especially if you didn't happen to like wiki it in the second episode like I did, but it didn't change anything. It was still just freaking amazing. So we go into this episode. We have the demons coming in, attacking the city. We still have Trevor on the run from the townspeople. And so we go to the bishop. And he's like, all right, he's like, is he dead? He's thinking Trevor's dead. Like, get out there if he's not before the sun sets. And so it's this demon. It's like the only really talking demon through the whole episode. So that might be something that they kind of explain season 2, where it's like, okay, it makes sense. It's just like higher level demons are basically smarter. That's across like everything supernatural based. Like the higher demons are always the ones who talk. So it comes in and it's like, oh, it's already sunset. And then they get into a great dialogue. Like that was probably the biggest dialogue portion of the whole episode, was like just that moment in the church. And it was great. And it was just like, like when he first realized it's a demon, it's like, you can't come into, a building of God. And he's like, God's not here. And then he goes into like his whole thing about how the bishop is just like this horrible person. It's like, your God knows that you screwed up. Your God knows that you're the only reason we're here. And our God knows that as well. And he might not like you, but we love you. And he's like, the bishop is getting confused. He's like, what are you talking about? It's like, yeah, like, we love you. Like, thank you. Like, you're the only reason that we're here. And he flat out says it by the end, like, it's because you killed an innocent woman. And I love that. I was like, that was just a great moment. It was just dialogue. And I was like, I'm pretty sure they're about to kill this dude. But he explains it all to him, like, why he's so wrong and why he really was the cause, because they killed this innocent woman. And I love that. And it was just like, and him being there and stuff, and he's like, you're the reason we're here. And he's like, I love you. And he's like, what the F are you talking about? He's like, let me kiss you. And then he eats him, and he kills him. And I was like, that was a crazy moment. And then, they just show all the blood pouring down, like the podium. And I was just like, that's nuts. So he's dead, like right off the top. And then it cuts back to Trevor, still being chased by the people. He ends up being saved because, of course, Sypha does reveal that she has magic abilities, which once again, that was like the whole wiki thing. I knew that was going to happen. But she ends up saving him, and then he's like, alright, well, I kind of have my way out. And as he's walking, he sees the dude whose finger he chopped off, and he's like, like, why don't we have a little one-on-one here? And then he kind of has his moment where he talks kind of like with the demon, where it's like, this is on you. Like, this sort of madness that is happening is on you and your bishop, like the men that you follow, because you all think that you're so insanely close to God that you would kill an innocent woman and then turn other innocent villagers into murderers as well, because you know that the speakers are not the ones that brought this madness upon, these townspeople, but you lied to them completely in order to make them killers, just so you wouldn't feel, that bad about yourselves, because you're the ones who kind of agreed to do it. You're like they were the ones who spearheaded the idea of killing this woman who was completely innocent. And man, did the townspeople turn fast. Like, especially, like, he dropped a couple things, like, man, I don't think people have seen a preacher pull out a blade, and it instantly cut to these people, like, talking to, like, a person whispering, like, oh, man, that's crazy. So, it was great. Like, all of that was amazing. And then they just instantly turn on him. Like, the dude runs from behind Trevor, stabs him with the knife, and I was like, alright, he's dead. He's done. Stabbed him with the knife. Another person stabbed him in the back. I was like, okay, yeah, he's dead. And so he's like, oh, and then that freaking pitchfork goes through his head. I was like, holy crap. Or it went through like his neck. I was like, geez, that went further than I thought. And then the spear just comes from the other way and like goes up and out. I was like, holy crap, they completely eviscerated this guy. So he's getting like stabbed, and the person who first stabbed him like continues to stab him. So he's done. And then it's like, okay, well, you guys realize now that we aren't like crappy. So they end up teaming up. Trevor and Sypha end up teaming up with the townspeople. And so, they team up with them to fight off the demons. It's like, you guys go back, but everyone who has a weapon stay here because I know how to fight demons. So everyone with a spear or a lance, a long-range weapon, come with me. He lines them up and does all that. He tells the priest to go make holy water, which I thought was cool because he was like, you know what to do with it and stuff. And then it ultimately does work. So for some reason, I just like that. Then he gets the salt, and he's like, you put your bladed weapon, anyone with a sword, put it in it, rub it in salt. And it was just a great little sequence where they're teaming up with the townspeople, and he's like, Sypha, can you make like a wall? So she makes the ice wall when the demons come in, and, the first demon tries to like fly over. It's like, rear set, you just aim up, and they stab it, and then it's like chop it to pieces. They split that thing in half, and they take them all down. And, it was super freaking awesome. And then we have you know, him like throwing the water up in the air, and then Sypha like makes like basically holy ice shards that shoot out and kill two of the demons, and then the third shoots out a fireball and everybody dodges it, and that's when we finally get to see Trevor use the whip on an actual demon, and it was freaking amazing because it was super short, but it looked freaking sweet, and he just does that little duck and it's like, all right, boop, and it hits the stomach and it just explodes the top half, and then he was just like, yeah, it's like it's consecrated to kill, you know, vampires and demons, no big deal. So that was freaking awesome. We finally got to see him use it on an actual demon, and I didn't expect it to like blow up like that either. So that was super cool because you don't see that in the games. But it just, you know, that little tap on the side, and it was just like poof, and dead. So that was really cool. And then we have the smarter demon that ended up killing the bishop. It's smarter, so it actually tries to fly up, but it was really good, and it tries to go for Trevor and Sypha. Ultimately, gets captured, and it's like, you know, basically you can't defeat us. There's an army of us. And Trevor isn't having that crap. He just whips it straight down the middle, kills it, and then after that, they have like almost like 2 straight minutes of like Uncharted. For anyone who plays Uncharted, you know what I mean. But they're just falling from like floor to floor. It's like they fall through the ground, and then they fall through another level, and then they're like whipping on stuff and swinging from place to place, and they were just falling from place to place, and everything was just freaking breaking down all around them. So eventually, they get to the bottom of the catacombs, what, you know, Sypha was trying to find in the first place, like all the challenges of, you know, the Cyclops and all these crazy gears moving and turning all through the night. And they eventually get down there, everything's just constantly falling apart on them. Finally get to the bottom. As they're walking towards this coffin, Trevor steps on a little cube, opens the coffin up, this random blind dude comes out, and they have a super badass action sequence. Like, they first have a little conversation, and it's like, okay, well, no one knows what Dracula looks like, but you're a vampire. You've been staying down here. You know, I don't think you're this grand sleeping legend and everything, which, you know, they mentioned before, is like, people, the speakers believe that that legend is actually a legend from the future, which is very interesting. But basically, the legend says, you know, they have like this sleeping hero and stuff, and they believe that's who they found. And Trevor's like, that's definitely a vampire. I know a vampire when I see one. And it was awesome. And they have this really awesome fight. And, you know, he talks about how long he's been sleeping, and it had only been a year because, of course, you know, he's Alucard. And his dad, like, whooped him up a little and was like, go to sleep. So that's pretty much what happened. He got knocked out for a year. And then his dad did the whole first episode where he was like, I'm the flaming face, and now I'm crows, and, you know, everybody died. So they end up having this fight sequence where it's Alucard versus, you know, Belmont, and it was great. It was a great sequence with them fighting, and Alucard and like his insanely long, like super long sword, which I've seen pictures of that before, but it never really dawned on me exactly how long it was, because I feel like all the Castlevania art is always kind of, you know, over the top isn't the exact word I'm looking for, but it's like, it's always exaggerated, like just a little bit. You can tell certain things are exaggerated, like how they do the size and scales of characters, and you always see like the hassle, but the characters are huge too. So, you know, like the foreground background thing, and even just certain elements of them are exaggerated for the sort of style that they always have for the Castlevania, you know, cover art. So I never realized exactly how long that blade was, because I've seen art of it before. But it was crazy. I was like, it's not Sephiroth crazy, but it was a fairly long blade. So I was like, alright, how's this going to work out with Alucard versus Trevor? And it was a great freaking fight scene. Like, they're going back and forth. They're even talking a little bit in between. And they're getting their blows in. And at this point, I don't know if this is truly the case. And I've mentioned it before in the last episode when, you know, he's falling. Or in the second episode. Or no, it was, you know, it was the last episode when he went to get Sypha. And he's falling through the floors and stuff. And I was like, he took a beating and just was like, no big deal. I don't know if the Belmonts are completely human, because I'm like, I know Alucard is, you know, of course, it would make sense he's weaker than his father, but I'm like, Trevor was holding his own, and I'm like, I just don't know if they're exactly 100% human. I don't know if that's been brought up in the games or whatnot, but I'm like, that's a bit more than just, you know, he has a magic whip or anything. Like, that was just his physical strength. He was holding his own against Alucard, and one of my favorite things, they even show him do like the phase shift thing. I love that. That was super awesome. So I was glad that we got to see that twice, where he just kind of, you know, with the little after images, and it's red, it glows red, which, if I remember right, is from like the remake of Castlevania 3. I think that was years ago when they did that remake, but I'm pretty sure that's what that was from. And he does like the after images, and he's going behind Trevor and they're fighting and stuff. It was all great, and like Trevor's doing all his whip moves and stuff like that. He does like one move when Alucard's in the air, and he whips it, but he grabs it and makes like a 90-degree angle, and it shoots over directly to hit Alucard while he's in midair. I was like, Jesus, this dude has like some insane skills with this freaking whip, and it was just really cool. And he's just flipping and spinning it, and it was just great. It was a great freaking fight scene. And then it gets to the end, and he loses his blade, like he gets cut, but he does end up cutting Alucard. But he pins him down, and he's like, do you have a god that you want to give last words to? And he's like, yeah, I hope his blood doesn't mess up my tunic. And it's revealed that Trevor does have a blade to Alucard's heart, and it's like, you might kill me, but if I stake you, that's fine, because that was the point. Living would have just been a luxury, because I'm here to help the people live from, diseases, basically, like demons and vampires. So it was great. And of course, Sypha kind of joins in at the end there. It's like, I'll incinerate you before you can even rip, get your fangs into his head. And so Alucard stands up. It's like, cool, a warrior, it was like a fighter and a scholar will do. And so he talks to her about, the legends, like, do you know the whole story? And she's like, well, yeah. I don't know why they did it where she got nervous. Maybe it's just because he was like a topless buff dude. I don't know. But she was like, yeah, I know the full story. Maybe there's a little bit more to what he said as far as continuing the legend on, which may or may not be two characters getting together, which I would assume would be, naturally, it would have to be Trevor and Sypha, because there'd have to be other Belmonts in the future. So I assume that that's why she got, like, kind of, they did like the anime sort of blush thing, where it's like, okay, I assume that that's what the legend is about. I don't think it had anything to do with, Alucard was topless. I think that's what it was, but he didn't go to that level of saying, like, that's what would ultimately happen in the end. But he gives, like, the simple thing where it's like, the sleeping warrior would be met by another fighter and then a scholar. So that was really great. And then, they have their moment where he's like, I want to kill my father because I believe that's what my mother would want. And, she would, which makes a lot of sense considering she was being burned at the stake because people were some idiots and a-holes. And she's like, even though he couldn't hear her, she was yelling, like, if you can hear this, don't blame them. They don't understand. That's it. Like, forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do. So it was great. And it was like, he's probably right. That is what she would want, is for him to stop his father from killing all of these innocent people. Like, some people were not so innocent, but a lot of the people that are going to die definitely are. So he's like, we have to work together to kill my father. And we have that cool moment. It's the three of them together, and now they're off to have their journey. And it was a great freaking finale. I'm excited for season 2. This was a great first season. I just wish it was longer. I think everyone does. But like I said, my last review, this is how it has to be. It would suck that it would take so long, but man, it was just great. Like, the whole freaking season was good. I mean, it's like 5:38 or something in the morning. It's ridiculous. It's 5:54. It's almost 6 in the morning. And I was like, I shouldn't watch all these episodes, but it's just good. And I'm not even tired because I had a weird thing anyway. So it was like, it kind of worked out a little bit because I'm not that sleepy. And I was able to just go through and enjoy it. It's like, at this point for me, it's kind of like just 2 a.m. because I was up super late last night and work this week. So it kind of works out. I didn't want to stay up this late, but man, it was totally worth it because these are some good 4 freaking episodes. The animation was amazing. The storytelling was simple but absolutely amazing. Like, we see Dracula's side of the story where it's like, crap, gotta side with this dude. Like, you guys effed up. That's just how it was back then. Like, people were just dumb. And man, he got pissed. And that first episode, it was just like, okay, gotta turn into a pillar of fire. Gotta have a flaming face and give you guys a year. And they just thought nothing, like, no biggie. And then blood starts dropping, fetuses, demon babies start dropping, and then the people start dropping. And that's just the way it went. And it was really freaking good. It was a great season. A lot of great action, whether it was, people versus demons or, humans versus humans. Really good. Really freaking good. Can't wait to see how they do the second season, especially now that they actually have Alucard on the team. We'll get to see them go up against even greater threats, because the threats were fairly simple when you really think about it in this season. It was super easy, and like, that was Simon by himself, and then Sypha helped him a little bit at the end, and they're working together with the townspeople in this episode. But it's like, man, if they had Alucard, they probably wouldn't, that would have been like twice as fast, if they even needed to do anything at all, because he could have been like, alright, well, there's like 3 demons, Belmont, you like just do a whip real fast, like you distract them, whip to the side, I'll just come this way, they'll jump, I'll just slice them, and boom, it's done. And if they need to, see if you can just set them on fire, or if they have like holy water, she can do the ice move again. It's just like boom, no big deal. Like it only takes like 2 of them to make it work, you know. And especially with Alucard, it almost only takes him. But very excited to see the second season, and hopefully we do get some more episodes. I would love for it to be, if it's twice as much, then that's what it needs to be. But I thought this was a really good first season, so definitely excited to see season 2. Can't wait to see how they do the advancements of the characters as well, like especially Alucard, with him waking up and maybe seeing the actual chaos. I'm excited to see how that sort of plays out, but definitely a great first season. The action was good, animation was good, story was good. Of course, we'd love to know what you guys thought about this finale, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts about it, least favorite parts about it. Of course, we'd love to know what you guys want to see in season 2. You can pretty much tell where it's going, especially, like I said, if you look up Castlevania 3, it's that story, just in a different medium. And I like the way they're doing it, and I'm very excited to see how they continue the story of this like small team traveling to eventually, you know, kill off Dracula. But like I said, I want to know what you guys thought about the ending, so please put your comments down in the comment section below. And of course, thanks for watching.